People making money honestly and Democrat politicians, welcome to a brand new video. Today, things are going to be a little bit spicy because the meltdowns are at an all-time high thanks to DOGE. Elon Musk, also known as Hairy Balls, and his four little wizards have joined the forces with Donald J. Trump, and everyone's shaking. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Trump and his hairy balls, they're so big. What an unbelievable combo, I can't believe it. It's crazy. And honestly, this is a huge dub for people like me. Now, I specifically have a bias. I like chaos, and I don't like politicians. So when politicians get thrown into chaos, it's a glorious day. So, Mr. Musk over here and his son somehow entered Donald Trump's Oval Office, which is obviously getting people to call for his arrest. Wait. Oh, dude, I don't make this shit up. I live for the meltdowns. I love meltdowns. They feed me. They're tasty. They're yummy and delicious. So, anyway, they actually talk about what DOGE is going to be doing moving forward, which is really exciting. Really, really exciting. Okay, that part wasn't so exciting, but this part is exciting. Why hasn't there been a warrant issued for Elon Musk's arrest? He's a civilian trespassing on public property with no legal basis for being there. Dog, this is what they call retarded. You see, he does actually have legal basis for being there because the President of the United States of America told him to be there. So yes, they are actually trying to call for his arrest for this, which is very funny. For me personally, who I am personally enjoying this a lot. This is very good. Oh, that's the wrong thing. But I personally am enjoying this a lot. So anyway, apparently over the course of this speech, I didn't watch it yet, but they expose and talk about what DOGE is going to be doing. A bunch of politicians that are going to end up in prison. And honestly, this is just going to be a glorious time. A glorious time. Just Trump and Musk talking to the people. This is the new Rick and Morty. It's just Trump and Musk. Holy shit.
X, are you okay?
Bro's name is X! Bro's name is X. Dog, that's adorable. Oh, he named Twitter after his son.
This is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
And he's got this, check out this cool chain he's got.
So thank you very much.
Dude has a chain. No!
We had a busy day today. The king just left, and we've had
the king of Jordan, who, by the way, everyone called Trump a warmonger. Oh my God, it's Trump. He's a warmonger. Trump walks out, slaps his cock on the table, tells the world his plan for Gaza, and the king of Jordan is like, yes, we'll take 2,000 Gaza, Palestinian children, civilians from Gaza. Oh! You mean the people that refused to take even a single Palestinian from Gaza over the last year and a half agreed to take people now that Trumpanor is in office? Peace through strength, baby. Let's go. I'm just saying that's it. There's nothing more to say. Nothing more to say. It is more effective to be a human being with a personality than a slop puppet.
We had a great discussion, terrific discussion concerning Gaza and everything else. We had discussions also about Saturday at 12 o'clock.
Oh, God! He's still going with that. That's a reference to, he said, if all the hostages aren't returned to Israel by Saturday at 12 o'clock, there will be hell to pay. Which is kind of fucking terrifying. And listen, chaos, baby. Subscribe for chaos. We are here for all the chaos. You see, I view all this as entertainment. I know there's a lot of crazy shit that goes on in the world, and it's obviously very sad, but we could either laugh about it or we could cry about it. So subscribe to be informed, and honestly, put a smile on your face, okay?
It's going to be a big moment. We'll see what happens. I don't expect much happening with these people, but we'll see what happens. And we're going to be signing a very important deal today. It's DOGE, and I'm going to ask Elon to tell you a little bit about it and some of the things that we found, which are shocking. Billions and billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse. And
dude, we are so here, bro. We're so here. Oh my god, exposing corrupt politicians is like my favorite thing ever, okay? Listen, you know what? I'm even gonna make you a tier list. I'm gonna make a tier list right now for the people. We're gonna make a tier list. Okay, don't pay attention to this. This is not important. Don't look at that. That's irrelevant. Don't look at that. But we're making a tier list. All right. So this is the tier list of things. All right, this is the tier list of things. All right. So over here we have the tiers. S tier is obviously the best. Then A, B, C. All right, so, and yeah, all right. So that's the tier list. And you know what? We'll even do an F tier. We'll even do an F tier. All right, so this is the tier list of things. I really put that in a way that literally no one could read it, huh? All right, the tier list of things. S, A, B, C, F. Okay, that's how we're doing it. So F tier is like the worst of the worst things. So, yeah, so F tier, it's like, you got the Holocaust, all right, that's F tier, that's pretty bad, all right, listen, so Holocaust, that's an F tier thing, that is an F tier thing, without a doubt, all right, not, without even a shadow of a doubt, all right, now, in A tier, we have blowjobs. Listen, I don't make the rules, God invented blowjobs, I'm just saying, and they're incredible. S tier is corrupt politician demise. All right, listen, I'm just saying. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. Okay? But I'm just saying, like, to put things into perspective here for how awesome this is. All right, that's not gonna be important later. Moving on.
I think it's very important, and that's one of the reasons I got elected. I said we're going to do that. Nobody had any idea it was that bad, that sick, and that corrupt. And it seems hard to believe that judges want to try and stop us from looking for corruption, especially when we found...
Judge stands up. I refuse to let you look for corruption, old man. Got him, boys.
Hundreds of millions of dollars worth, much more than that, in just a short period of time. We want to weed out the corruption.
It's so wild. Every time you see these protests against Elon and shit, it's like, Elon's unelected. Why are they looking into our money? How dare they audit us? Bros, homies, motherfuckers, get out of here. Get out of here, you morons. How dare you look for corruption, goddammit. It's like, listen, you just hear that shit and you immediately, your brain turns off. It's like, it's so wonderfully stupid. It's completely indefensible. My favorite thing is, some people hate Trump so much that they will actually defend absolutely indefensible positions. Indefensible positions. Like saying, well, we should not be looking at where the money is going, actually. It's better not to. Like, it's an obviously indefensible position, but you're actually gonna have people like that. That's crazy.
And it seems hard to believe that a judge could say, we don't want you to do that.
Yeah, Mr. President, we don't want you to look where the money is going. What? Retard. I think a lot of the protesters don't understand his job. They just hear Elon equals bad. You're wrong. Okay? I don't mean to insult your intelligence, which is obviously very low. Low intelligence, low IQ. The people are protesting against Elon because they don't want to find out. They don't want Elon to find out that they're all fucking corrupt motherfuckers. And they're all going to end up in prison, and they're scared as shit that these people on $100,000 a year salaries are all sitting there with $100 million in the fucking bank. Those people out there, those corrupt bitches, they don't want Elon to find crap. So they're making this complete fake bullshit excuse. Oh, he's unelected. Arrest him. He's he's in the White House, guys. Yeah, all right, bro. All right, bro. Yeah, all right, dude. Nice. Yeah, sure. Yeah, right. Yeah, all right. Anyway, moving on, because I have an entire video that I'm planning dedicated purely on all that conspiracy shit, which I have a lot of evidence for. So that's going to be fun.
Well, so maybe we have to look at the judges, because that's very serious. I think it's a very serious violation.
Yeah.
I'll ask Elon Musk to say a few words, and
oh my God, dude.
We'll take some questions. Elon, go.
The crazy thing is, everyone says these are like the two most powerful people in the country or whatever. They're just openly having a conversation with the people. This is incredible.
Go ahead.
Sure. So the
oh my God, is that Dark MAGA himself? The god of video games?
At a high level, if you say, what is the goal of DOGE and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy.
Bro, the kid is like so cute talking to Trump, and Trump is like,
This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, okay, X, we'd have.
All right, X. The kid's just he's trying to copy his dad. That's adorable. I mean, listen, I don't know. I saw some people saying that he's using a child human shield, and it's like, human shield from what? What are you talking about?
If you it's all right. Tell you, gravitas can be difficult sometimes. If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have?
I mean, he's saying like incredibly obvious shit that I think any normal human should agree with. It's like, it's laughable that this actual conversation needs to be entertained. Like, it's laughable. It's like, imagine this. You see a rich person take money from a poor person for taxes, put it in his pocket, and you're like, wait, you're putting that in your pocket? You're not like gonna use that money to help the country? And he says, how dare you ask questions, then kicks you in the balls and tries to arrest you. That's the analogy here.
If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy.
True.
So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large, unelected bureaucracy.
Yeah, everyone goes crazy about Elon Musk. Elon Musk's not elected. He's not elected, guys. He's not elected. You know who else is not elected? All the fucking judges that are trying to shut him down for being unelected. Like, you recognize the stupidity, right? Like, you see the stupidity. You see the stupidity, you see the hypocrisy. None of it makes any sense.
This is not to say that there are good people who are in the federal bureaucracy, but you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the people.
Oh my God.
That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at this, if you looked at the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative.
Bro, you know what Trump is thinking right now? You know what's going through Trump's head? He's like, he's just being like, Trump is just thinking about, now who to tariff next? It's gonna be crazy. How do we rename Mars as Planet America? It's gonna be big. He's just thinking of things to name. And this guy's talking about bureaucracies, and Trump is just sizing up X.
And this is not something that people want. And it's not. It does not match the will of the people. So it's just something we've got to fix.
He's right.
And then we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit. And if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's really astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking.
That makes no sense, because there's a pretty huge budget. How is the debt exceeding the budget? Where's the money going? Oh, but you're not allowed to ask that question because Elon Musk is unelected or something, because all these fucking bureaucrats want to just keep getting richer. Dude, it's literally the most obvious shit, like fraud in the world. Like, this might be the biggest financial scandal in world history. Like, world history.
We spend a lot of money on defense. But if that just keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So what I really want to say is, like, it's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, and it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide things to its citizens and not simply be servicing vast amounts of debt.
And also, could you mention some of the things that...
He's little X over there, he's just using the force. He's trying to take shit down.
Your team has found...
We are going to rename Mars Orange Ball. I named it after my best friend. Sorry, okay. All right.
Found some of the crazy numbers, including the woman that walked away with about 30 million,
Right.
etc.
Well, we do find it sort of rather odd that there are quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth.
Yes, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, listen, I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But yes, dude, 100%. This person's on a salary of $100K a year. Why are they worth $200 million? Huh? Come on, bro. Come on, dude. And by the way, I am going to probably do a separate video on leftists trying to debunk this, because I feel like this is like so undebunkable, so obviously undebunkable, it's crazy.
While they are in that position, which is, what happened at USAID, we're just curious as to where it came from.
Which is a perfectly reasonable thing to be curious about. For some reason, there was a completely large, massive wing of the government that had no oversight on billions of dollars of spending. Brothers, homies, guys, this is crazy.
Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But just there seems to be mysteriously they get wealthier. We don't know why. Where
Very
did it come
mysterious.
from? And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthier at taxpayer expense. That's the honest truth of it. So,
if that gets proven, because I think everyone without a shadow of a doubt believes it. All right, Nancy Pelosi makes $100-something thousand a year and has a net worth of like $204 million. You don't get that much money on a salary of $100K a year. Okay, that doesn't fucking happen. So I think everyone believes that either they're taking tax money or at the very least they're doing insider trading, which I think they're probably taking tax money if I had to guess. Just to guess. But like, dog, bros, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy, dude. Like, and the funniest thing is, they don't deny it. They don't even deny it. You know why? Because it's completely indefensible. There is no way around it. Like, you can't explain it. Like, you know the Hassan system? Like how Hassan Piker deflects criticism? Notorious leftist terrorist sympathizer. The Hassan system is H. You ignore critics' content to obscure their arguments. That's why you have none of these people actually even dealing with the actual argument that how are they so rich? They don't talk about that shit. Drastically misrepresent the opposing view. Their whole claim is, that's alter in the Hassan system, right? You got, Trump is just trying to take over America and he's trying to take control of everything for himself. He's a tyrant. S, strawman, attack the misrepresentation by grouping critics with deplorables. Elon Musk he did a Nazi salute. He works for Trump. Trump is basically Orange Hitler. Am I right, guys? A, avoid. Debate only weaker opponents, never the original person. These people never, ever enter a debate at all. You remember Kamala Harris did her CBS interview? She flubbed a scripted interview so badly they had to edit it. That is generational talent. How do you flub a scripted, prepped interview? Then N, name call. Label frustrated opposition as crazy or obsessed to discredit them. Yes, Trump is old and he's Hitler and he's a fascist and all that shit. Like, it's crazy. This is like the classic system of Democrats not taking accountability. Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy, dude.
We're looking at if you look at say Treasury, for example, basic controls that should be in place that are in place in any company, such as making sure that any given payment has a payment categorization code, that there is a comment field that describes the payment.
No shit.
And that if a payment is on the do not pay list, that you don't actually pay it. None of those things are true currently.
What?
So the reason...
Wait, the U.S. Treasury doesn't keep track of their payments? And then the IRS literally butt fucks you if you get a cent off on your goddamn taxes.
That departments can't pass audits is because...
The judge blocked the Secretary of the Treasury from accessing Treasury books. That's insane. That's crazy.
Because the payments don't have a categorization code. It's like just a massive number of blank checks just flying out the building. So you can't reconcile blank checks. You've got comment fields that are also blank, so you don't know why the payment was made. And then we've got this truly absurd, a do not pay list, which can take up to a year for an organization to get on a do not pay list. And this, we're talking about terrorist organizations, we're talking about known fraudsters, known aspects of waste, known things that do not match any congressional appropriation, can take up to a year to get on the list.
Where's that going,
and even once
bro?
on the list is not used. It's mind-blowing. So what we're talking about here, we're really just talking about adding common sense controls that should be present, that haven't been present. So you say, like, well, how could such a thing arise? That seems crazy. When you understand that really everything is geared towards complaint minimization, so then you understand the motivations. So if people receive money, they don't complain, obviously. But if people don't receive money, they do complain. And the fraudsters complain the loudest and the fastest. So then when you understand that, then it makes sense. Oh, that's why everything they approve all the payments at Treasury. Because
That's crazy to even think about. It's crazy to think about. Like, I run a business, okay? So I run a business, so I have employees, so I pay them. They ask for raises. Sometimes I approve, sometimes I don't. You know, shit like that. Whatever. Obviously, you think about this shit. You don't just say yes to everything every time someone asks you for money. You have any idea how many emails I get asking me for money to donate to their GoFundMes and shit? Like, it's shocking. And these people, meanwhile, and because it's my money. All right, it's my fucking money, so I actually care. Now, the Department of the Treasury, it's not even their money. It's like the most basic bitch shit in the universe. It's not even their money. They don't give a flying fuck. They give it to all their friends, all their homies, maybe, allegedly. Just giving it out, doling it out. No oversight. No even evidence. They don't even have basic paperwork explaining where everything is going. Like, this should all be transparent. Every taxpayer should be able to see exactly what different departments of the government are spending their money on. Unless it's like actual secret operations that are, you know, obviously fucking, you know, Russian spies, or, you know, the location of your CIA agents or shit like that. Like that, okay, that should be kept secret. But why is there a secret $2 million Iraqi Sesame Street play in production? Bro, gay tap dancing in North Korea. What the fuck you doing? Like, that's crazy, dude. Find that shit out. This is wild, dude.
if you approve all the payments, you don't get complaints. But now we're saying that, no, actually, we are going to complain. If money is spent badly, if your taxpayer dollars are not spent in a sensible and frugal manner, then that's not okay. Your tax dollars need to be spent wisely on things that matter to the people.
Bro, the Joker in Batman comics was too scared to deal with the IRS. He'd fight Batman, but not the IRS, all right? Al Capone got cooked by the IRS, not because he's a mob boss calling hits on people. No, because of the IRS. The IRS is like, they will nickel and dime you. They will ruin your life. And I would know. I was on hold with them for an hour today, and then they just hung up on me, those motherfuckers. But the Treasury just literally just sends the fucking money that they're literally extorting out of you. They're sending it around. They're sending it everywhere. Sending it everywhere, baby.
People. I mean, these things, like, it's just common sense. It's not.
It really is. It literally is just common sense.
It's not draconian or radical. I think it's really just saying, let's look at each of these expenditures and say, is this actually in the best interest of the people? And if it is, it's approved. If it's not, we should think about it. So, you know, there's crazy things like just cursory examination of Social Security, and we've got people in there that are 150 years old.
What? Bro, you have people that are 150 years old still getting Social Security money. Where's that money going? Because that guy is dead. I hate to be that guy, but the 150-year-old person that's still getting Social Security money, that dude's dead. Where's the money going, bro? Come on. That's pathetic.
Now, do you know anyone who's 150? I don't. Okay. They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records.
This is fraud. Like, undeniable, factual fraud happening. Okay? That money is tax money going out to Nowhereville. Probably some rich guy's pocket, to be honest. That is undeniably fraud.
They're missing out. So, you know, that's a case where, like, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous. One of the two.
Yeah, he's right.
And then there's a whole bunch of Social Security payments where there's no...
And then everyone's like, why are you looking into it? Because there's evidence of fraud. There is actually evidence of fraud. Fuck, dude.
Identifying information? Well, like, why is there no identifying information? Obviously, one of...
Listen, guys, I've been going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole maybe a little bit too much, but listen, I'm just saying, that 150-year-old guy getting Social Security money, I bet you any money he voted for Biden in 2020. Listen, just I'm just kidding, guys. That was a joke. We are watching a Jew being tortured, watching the government waste money. God damn it, bro.
We want to make sure that people who deserve to receive Social Security do receive it, and that they receive it quickly and accurately. I'll tell you another crazy thing. So, you know, one of the things is, like, we are trying to sort of right-size the federal bureaucracy, just make sure that this, obviously there need to be a lot of people working for the federal government, but not as many as currently. So we're saying, well, okay, well, let's, if people can retire, you know, with full benefits and everything, that would be good. They can retire, get their retirement payments, everything. And then we were told, this is actually, I think, a great anecdote, because we were told the most number of people that could retire possibly in a month is 10,000. We're like, well, why is that?
What? They have a cap on how many people could retire?
Well, because all the retirement paperwork is manual on paper. It's manually calculated, then written down on a piece of paper. Then it goes down a mine. And like, what?
This doesn't sound like real life anymore. I'm losing it. There's no way.
What do you mean a mine? Like, yeah, there's a limestone mine where we store all the retirement paperwork.
No.
And you look at pictures of this mine. We'll post some pictures afterwards. And this mine looks like something out of the 50s.
I'm gonna verify this after this crazy.
Because it was started in 1955. So it looks like it's like a time warp. And then the speed, the limiting factor is the speed at which the mine shaft elevator can move determines how many people can retire from the federal government.
Oh my God.
And the elevator breaks down sometimes, and then nobody can retire.
That's crazy. That can't work. That can't work.
Doesn't that sound crazy?
Yeah. No.
There's like 1,000 people that work on this.
Bro, what is this? United Half-Life 2. What is going on? That's actual cartoon shit. I don't understand. That's insanity. Bro, Jack Black yearned for the mines, but the elevator didn't work. Bro, what is going on? This isn't just the government hasn't been modernized since the 50s, okay? This is insane. And there's 1,000 people working on that tunnel? Bro, dude, this is like actual fucking clown world. And guess who's paying for all that shit? That's right, this guy, this dude.
So I think
retirement cap? This is shocking. I'm floored. I can't believe it. What is going on? Wait. What is happening?
If we can take those people and say, like, you know what?
Sir, you can't retire. The elevator's broken? What does that even mean? Oh my God. And if he dies?
Instead of working in a mine shaft and carrying manila envelopes to, you know, boxes in a mine shaft, you could do practically anything else. And you would add to the goods and services of the United States in a more useful way.
Yeah.
So,
like literally doing anything.
Anyway, so I think, you know, that's an example. Like at a high level, if you say, like, how do we increase prosperity?
I found this shit. I can't believe it. I thought it was fake. It's real. It's all real. Federal employee retirements are processed using paper by hand in an old limestone mine in Pennsylvania. 700 plus mine workers operate 230 feet underground to process 10,000 applications per month, which are stored in manila envelopes and cardboard boxes. The retirement process takes multiple months. Like, are we joking? You're kidding. That's insane. Holy shit. And America's in debt, and your taxes are going to this. Your taxes are going to the limestone mines of Pennsylvania. I'm shocked.
Is we get people to shift from roles that are low to negative productivity to high productivity roles. And so increase the total output of goods and services, which means that there's a higher standard of living available for everyone.
That's wild.
That's the actual goal.
It's the most obvious shit in the universe. The actual most obvious thing ever of all time. Honestly, this Department of Government Efficiency, when I heard of DOGE, Elon Musk is running DOGE, I rolled my eyes, bro. But this is incredible. It's incredible.
Everyone's very quiet, by the way. So people normally this quiet?
Your detractors, Mr. Musk.
I have to what?
Including a lot of Democrats.
I have detractors?
You do.
Oh, listen, Musk, I'm just saying, bro. Listen, they hate him. They hate him. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking.
Sir,
I don't believe it.
Say that you're orchestrating a hostile takeover of government and doing it in a
They are saying that. They are saying that, bro. Oh my God. And you know the reporter asking this question probably reports that he is. This is like someone telling me, wait, Nux, you have haters? What? Me? No, that's crazy.
transparent way. What's your response to that criticism?
Well, first of all, you couldn't ask for a stronger mandate from the public. The public voted.
True, honestly, you only know you're doing something right if you have haters. I'll be real. I'll be real. I'll be real. You only know you're doing the right thing if you have a dedicated cult of haters. If you don't, you're doing something wrong. Now, I have a dedicated cult of haters, which is why I know God put me on the right path. Thank you, God, for my path, and thank you for my haters reminding me I'm doing the right thing.
Voted, we have a majority of the public voting for President Trump.
Yeah?
We won the House, we won the Senate.
Yeah? Yeah?
The people voted for major government reform.
Yeah?
There should be no doubt about that.
Yeah.
That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally.
Right.
The people voted for major government reform, and that's what the people are going to get. They're going to get what they voted for. And a lot of times, people that don't get what they voted for, but in this presidency, they are going to get what they voted for. And that's what democracy is all about.
Mr. Musk, the White House says...
Yes, actually, they actually did vote for this. This thing that you're saying that they didn't vote for, turns out they actually did. Crazy how that happened. That's crazy. No, but no, dude, when I saw this tweet, oh my fucking God, when did Taku transition to anti-woke content? I've always been doing anti-woke content, to be honest. With 50,000 likes, I knew I was on the right path. This is also like a notorious Asmongold hater account, so I was like, yes, thank you. Let's go, dude. We are so here for it, baby. It's a nice, sexy tweet letting me know I'm on the right path.
That you will identify and excuse yourself from any conflicts of interest that you may have. Does that mean that you are in effect policing yourself? What are the checks and balances that are in place to ensure that there is accountability and transparency?
All right, valid question. All right.
Well, we actually are trying to be as transparent as possible. In fact, we post our actions to the DOGE handle on X and to the DOGE website. So all of our actions are maximally transparent. In fact, I don't think there's been, I don't know of a case where an organization has been more transparent than the DOGE organization.
I mean, you literally could see all this shit. They post everything the second they find out. The only question, I guess, is where's the checks and balances that they're not lying, right? I guess that's the question. But as far as it's going with what they're exposing and what they're releasing and talking about what they're finding, it's been incredible. I feel like every single day we are updated on exactly what DOGE figured out.
So, the kind of things we're doing are, I think, very, very simple and basic. What I mentioned, for example, about Treasury, just making sure that payments that go out, taxpayer money that goes out, is categorized.
Didn't they already save like $38 billion or something?
Correctly, that the payment is explained, that organizations on the do not pay list, which are takes a lot to get there, that actually are not paid, which currently they are paid. These are not individual judgment decisions. These are about simply having sensible checks and balances in the system itself to ensure that taxpayer money is spent well. So it's got nothing to do with, like, say, a contract for some company of mine at all.
But if there is a conflict of interest when it comes to you yourself, for instance, you've received billions of dollars in federal contracts. When it comes to the Pentagon, for instance, which the president I know has direct.
It's so frustrating when I hear this argument. It's so frustrating. Well, he got richer through this. Yeah, you're right. Now he's worth, what, $300 billion? It's like, you cannot pay someone off once they're that rich. All right? Nancy Pelosi on an $100,000 a year salary being worth $200 million is insane. Okay? A guy who owns like 5 of the biggest companies in the world with rockets and the biggest social media platform and all that shit. The fact that he went from 250 billion to 300 billion, that's so irrelevant almost. I mean, obviously not. Obviously it's a crazy amount of money. With money comes power, all that shit. But like, bro, dude, like, this is the guy that doesn't need money.
Directed you to look into.
Yeah.
Are you policing yourself in that? Is there any sort of accountability check and balance in place that would provide any transparency for the American people?
Well, all of our actions are fully public. So if you see anything, you say, like,
It's like, that's the craziest thing. All right, is there any transparency? Everything we do is public. Okay, but are there checks and balances? Well, we're telling you everything that we're doing. Yes, but do the people know? Yes, they actually do know exactly what we're doing. But people seem to think, oh my God, reporter.
wait a second, hey, Elon, that seems like maybe that's, there's a conflict there. It's not like people are going to be shy about saying that. They'll say it immediately,
Including you yourself.
Yes. But
The public is the checks and balances. How do people not realize that an ultimately transparent government agency is going to be so much more checked and balanced than the secret shadow society of people sending billions of dollars to, I don't know, to gay sex in Afghanistan? Like, are we all on the same page here? Do we recognize how insane this is?
transparency is what builds trust, not simply somebody asserting trust. So not somebody saying they're trustworthy, but transparency, so you can see everything that's going on. And then you can see, am I doing...
Oh, the poor male strippers in Yugoslavia definitely need the American funds. Now, let's not tell the American people. But no, that doesn't need checks and balances. Elon Musk, he's invading the government. Yeah, sure.
Something that benefits one of my companies or not. It's totally obvious.
And if we thought that, we would not let him do that segment or look in that area. If we thought there was a lack of transparency or a conflict of interest. And we watched that also. He's a big businessman. He's a successful guy. That's why we want him doing this. We don't want an unsuccessful guy doing this. Now, one thing also...
True. If it was an unsuccessful guy, well, then maybe he actually wants to make some money. But if the guy's worth hundreds of billions, then, like, what are you scared of, dude? That's wild. Yugoslavia didn't exist for decades, and we're still paying them, huh? My point is proven again.
So that Elon hasn't really mentioned are the groups of people that are getting some of these payments. They're ridiculous. And we're talking about billions of dollars that we've already found. We found fraud and abuse. I would say those two words as opposed to the third word that I usually use, but in this case, fraud and abuse. It's abusive because most of these things are virtually made up, or certainly money shouldn't be sent to them. And you know what I'm talking about. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. So, but we're talking about tens of billions of dollars that we've already found. And now a judge who's an activist judge wants to try and...
Dude, a judge activist. Holy shit. I do hope they drop a doc on the alleged fraud. Chat, I was going to do an entire video covering actual fraud that they found, but because of DOGE's findings, they've already fired people. There has been actual fraud verifiably found. All right, you know what? I'll even show you one as a little sneak preview as to what we're going to end up covering. All right, a little sneak preview. All right, ready for a sneak preview on that other video? Ready? The DOGE team discovered that FEMA sent $59 million last week to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal migrants. Sending this money violated the law, and it is in gross insubordination to the president's executive order. That money is meant for the American disaster relief and instead is being spent on hotels for illegals. A clawback demand is made today to recoup those funds. And, ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, put your hands together. 4 FEMA employees fired. That's treason. So yeah, that's fraud. That's fraud. No shaking your cock about it. That one's fraud. So anyway, again, don't want to spoil. I have like this whole thing built up, all the actual fraud that they did find. So guys, they're taking money that should have been spent on disaster relief, you know, fires and tornadoes and shit, and they're spending them, well, not only are they not on disasters, but they're not even on citizens. Yeah, anyway, they were arrested. That's kind of treason. So anyway, so yes, there is actually evidence of fraud. So every time I see someone saying, is there evidence of fraud? It's like, you're either walking with your eyes closed, or you're just in a specific circle on social media that just didn't show you the fraud. Your algorithm has been a little more tailored to your taste. I try my best to look at whatever I can on all sides. You don't understand. I watched leftist coverage of DOGE just because I wanted to see them twist their brains into knots about trying to explain this shit. Everyone uses that same argument, but is there evidence of fraud? Yes, there is evidence of fraud. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Stop us from doing this. Why? Why would they want to do that? I campaigned on this. I campaigned on the fact that I said government is corrupt. And it is very corrupt. It's very, it's also foolish. As an example, a man has a contract for 3 months, and the
Okay, sure, I just mean it's easy to say stuff like that. Okay, by the way, I'm not calling you out for trying to, call me out in my chat or whatever. I'm very open to other viewpoints here. I encourage other viewpoints here. Yes, it is easy to say stuff like he says, but he actually does have proof for it. It's on the website, and people have gotten arrested for it. So, anyway, you were wrong. No offense.
Contract ends, but they keep paying him for the next 20 years, because nobody ends a contract. You got a lot of that. You have a contract that's a 3-month contract. Now, normally, if you're in a small, in all fairness, it's the size of this thing is so big.
Yeah.
But if you have a contract and you're in a regular business, you end the contract in 3 months. It's a consultant. Here's a contract for 3 months, but it goes on for 20 years. And the guy doesn't say that he got money for 20 years, They don't say it. They just keep getting checks month after month. And you have various things like that. And even much worse than that, actually, much worse. And I guess you call that incompetence, maybe.
Yeah.
It could be corruption. It could.
Yeah, I am very keen to blame things on incompetence too, but I really think this is probably corruption. Listen, incompetence is what you say when something happens once, not when something happens thousands of times with billions of dollars. That ain't incompetence anymore, all right?
Could be a deal's made on
It's not incompetence anymore. It's at best negligence, at worst corruption.
both sides, where the guy gets some money, he kicks. I think there's a lot of kickback here. I see a lot of kickback here.
There's a lot of kickbacks.
Weird,
Tremendous
huh?
kickback, because nobody could be so stupid to give out some of these contracts, so he has to get a kickback. So that's what I got elected for, that and borders and military and a lot of things, but this is a big part of it.
It is.
And
I think people genuinely elected him because they wanted to have some actual oversight over some kind of shadow government. I think the fact that Biden, who was not a real human, by the way, was not a real human, he was a puppet. So who was running the country? Well, it wasn't Kamala. We saw Kamala's freaking interviews. Zambala Harris out there mumbling word salading shit. Like, bro, who's running the country? No one knows. And that's, I think, when people kind of realize, wait a second, I don't know who's running the country. I don't know where my money's going. I don't know who's running the country. I don't know what's going on. What's happening? And people noticed, and that's one of the big reasons they elected Trump. And yes, he just kind of appointed Elon to man that, that sector. And that's what's happening. It's obvious, it's basic bitch shit, and they're making an entire epic meltdown purely to give me content, and I appreciate it.
I hope that the court system is going to allow us to do what we have to do. We got elected to among other things, find all of this fraud, abuse, all of this horrible stuff going on. And we've already found billions of dollars, not like a little bit, billions, many billions of dollars.
Damn.
And when you get down to it, it's going to be probably close to $1 trillion. It could be close to $1 trillion that we're going to find. That will have quite an impact on the budget. And you'll go to a judge where they handpick a judge, and he has certain leanings. I'm not knocking anybody for that, but he has certain leanings, and he wants us to stop looking. How do you stop looking? I mean,
you're right. Either it's personal or you're trying to bankrupt the country. Like, listen, best case scenario, in my opinion, best case scenario, massive fraud. Worst case scenario, actually trying to destabilize the world for personal motivations. All right, that's the worst case scenario. Brother, grab the heavy flamer. I'm sensing some heresy.
We've already found it. We have a case in New York where a hotel has paid $59 million.
That's what I just showed you.
$59 million because it's housing migrants, illegal migrants. All illegal, I believe.
And they were being paid twice the normal room rate at 100% occupancy.
Unbelievable.
So it's a racket.
Yeah.
Mr. Musk, can I ask a question? You
Well,
said
if I may sort of just going for the president's comments, at a high level, okay, well, what are the
And then I see, by the way, leftist people covering this, they make fun of him for stuttering. They make fun of the autistic man for stuttering. Do we recognize the hypocrisy? Do we recognize the hypocrisy that the leftists are making fun of the autistic man for stuttering, but if you say the word retard, they literally try to ruin your career? Just saying.
two ingredients that are really necessary in order to cut the budget deficit in half from 2 trillion to 1 trillion? And it's really two things: competence and caring. And if you add competence and caring, you'll cut the budget deficit in half. And I fully expect to be scrutinized and get a daily proctology exam, basically. Might as well just camp out there.
Oh, God.
So it's not like I think I can get away with something. I'll be scrutinized nonstop. But with the support of the president, we can cut the budget deficit in half from 2 trillion to 1. And then with...
That's crazy. That's such a big deal. This could fucking save the country. Like, it could. Everyone's losing their mind because, oversight, and this could save the country. Why? Because they don't like Trump, they don't like Elon. Like, guys, get your head out of your asses for a second.
Deregulation, because there's a lot of sort of regulations that don't ultimately serve the public good. We need to free the builders of America to build. And if we do that, that means I think we can get the economic growth to be maybe 3-4%, maybe 5%. And that means if you can get $1 trillion of economic growth and you cut the budget deficit by $1 trillion, between now and next year, there is no inflation. There's no inflation in 26. And if the government is not borrowing as much, it means that interest costs decline. So everyone's, the mortgage, their car payment, their credit card bills, anything, their student debt, the monthly payments drop. That's a fantastic scenario.
Yeah.
For the average American.
Dude, honestly, okay, listen, when it comes to massive politicians being exposed to be corrupt and end up in jail, this is wonderful for two reasons. One, glorious chaos and justice, and two, it might also save America, like the average American dude. I'm mostly excited for that first reason. A shout out to everyone in my chat that says that it's the Jews that are secretly running the government, which is obviously bullshit. I'm sure there are some Jewish people in the shadow government, but last I checked, it ain't written nowhere in Jewish scriptures that you have to control America or whatever the fuck. But dude, it's crazy. It's insane.
I mean, imagine they're going down the grocery aisle and the prices from one year to the next are the same. And they're
Bro, X is having conversation with Trump.
Their mortgage, all their debt payments dropped. How great is that for the average American?
Yeah, that's really great. That would be really, really great. Almost as great as the look on their face when they go to jail, baby. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just very, very excited for downfalls. I love downfalls. Shout out to the Shadow Jews. Those guys are awesome.
We had
That's
no
what we're
idea. We had no idea we were going to find this much, and it's open. It's not like complicated. It's
It's not that
simple
complicated.
stuff.
It's just a lot of work.
Bro, dude, it's not that complicated. Turns out if you spend $1 billion in fucking gay taverns in Andorra, suddenly you recognize that, wow, that's pretty stupid, huh? Dude, they spent millions of dollars on atheist propaganda in Serbia. What the fuck? Why do they even have atheist propaganda? Like, why is that even on the list? That's crazy.
We can't believe it. A lot of work, a lot of smart people involved. Very, very smart people. But you're talking about anywhere, maybe $500 billion. It's
Bro, X just peer pressured his dad into lifting him up. Dude, look at this. This is incredible.
talking about.
He's like, lift me, and he's like, no. And he's like, lift me, and he's like, no, I really want to. And then he's like, the cameras are looking. What are they gonna say?
Well, maybe $500 billion. It's crazy the kind of numbers you're
It's really
talking
crazy.
about. You know, normally when you're looking at something, you'll find
Look how
you're
satisfied he looks. He won.
looking for 1 out of 100. Here, you're almost reversing it. You look for one that's good.
Yeah.
And you can look at the title and you say, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And the public gets it. You know, the public gets it. You've seen the polls.
Of course the public gets it. I don't want my fucking tax dollars. I don't want my fucking tax dollars going to, gay tap dancing in Nepal. Like, obviously.
The public is saying, why are we paying all this money? This for years, this has gone on.
Mr.
President Trump, Senator,
Yeah, go ahead. Wait, go ahead.
Senator Rand Paul today said that DOGE cuts will ultimately need a vote in Congress. Do you agree with that? Is that the
I
plan?
really don't know. I know this. We're finding tremendous fraud and tremendous abuse. If I need a vote of Congress to find fraud and abuse, it's fine with me. I think we'll get the vote, although there'll be some people that wouldn't vote.
Just think about this for a second. Let's say it turns out it's a majority of Congress that's committing fraud. Let's say they find out without a shadow of a doubt. This is completely hypothetical, of course. Of course, I don't want to get shot in the street. Hypothetically, let's say majority of Congress is committing fraud and taking money from all these government funds and from the U.S. tax dollars. Let's say, hypothetically. Then Congress is obviously always going to be voting to keep it, right? What are you going to do? Like, what are you supposed to do about that shit? That's the obvious flaw with this strategy.
And how could a judge want to hold us back from finding all of this fraud and finding all of this incompetence? Why would that happen? Why would even Congress want to do that? Now, Congress, if we do need a vote, I think we'd get a very easy vote because we have a track record now. We've already found billions of dollars of abuse, incompetence, and corruption. A lot of corruption.
If a judge does block one of your policies, part of your agenda, will you abide by that ruling? Will you comply
Well, I
with that
always
order?
abide by the courts, and then I'll have to appeal it. But then what he's done is he slowed down the momentum. And it gives crooked people...
It does. It gives so much... Because you see how long these court cases drag out, right? Could you imagine... Dog, could you imagine how despicable it is to say, oh, we'll just sit in court cases for 10 years until we figure this shit out? There are some obvious things that should be cut from the spending. Like, obvious things. Well, you want every nickel and dime to have its own court case as to why it needs to stop? This whole concept of giving them extra time to hide shit under the rug is despicable. I think all this needs to be aired out. All this needs to be halted until people at least figure out what the hell's going on. Because no one knows what's going on. Anyway, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. The entertainment, it's going to be huge. It's going to be fun. Chaos everywhere. Meltdowns the more. The more meltdowns, the better. We will go have them all swim in the Gulf of America.
More time.
And honestly, anyone who's trying to slow down or stop this lost all respect in my eyes. They are either part of the fraud or they are so indoctrinated into the despicable fucking shithole that is a complete one side of politics. That's crazy.
To cover up the books. You know, if a person's crooked and they get caught, other people see that and all of a sudden it becomes harder later on. So, yeah the answer is I always abide by the courts, always abide by them, and will appeal. But appeals take a long time, and I would hope that a judge, if you go into a judge and you show him, here's a corrupt situation, we have a check to be sent, but we found it.
I mean, you know the issue with this theory. What if there's a corrupt judge? Like, dude, who knows how far this goes? No one knows how far this shit goes. Damn.
To be corrupt. Do you want us to send this corrupt check to a person, or do you want us not to give it and give it back to the taxpayer? I would hope a judge would say, don't send it, give it back to the taxpayer.
Yeah, if I can add to that, what we're finding is that a bunch of the fraud is not even going to Americans. So I think we can all agree that if there's going to be fraud, it should at least go to Americans. But a bunch of the fraud rings that are operating in the United States and taking advantage of the federal government, especially in the entitlements programs, are actually foreign fraud rings. They're operating in other countries and actually exporting money to other countries. We should stop that.
Right? Obviously. Like, if you want to halt this stuff on American programs, whatever, and I still think that they should immediately look that shit. Immediately look at that shit. But 70% of it is going to foreign aid? And a big chunk of that foreign aid is like actual garbage? Bruh. $50 million of condoms to whatever the fuck?
And this is big numbers. We're talking about $100 to $200 billion a year. Sure. Serious money.
$200 billion a year. That's insane. And you know who's at the top of all of this? Little man X, sitting here at the very top.
Mr. Musk, you said on X that an example of...
Dude, I have some wild fucking conspiracy theorists in my audience, and I appreciate all of you. I do. You guys are all great. Thank you. Keep hitting me with those conspiracies. Some of them are cool. Some of them are incredibly stupid, but some of them are cool. I like them.
The fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms was sent to Gaza. But after fact-check this, it apparently Gaza in Mozambique, and the program was to protect them against HIV. So can you correct the statements? It wasn't sent to Hamas, actually. It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll...
Also, you got to realize his mistake. His mistake wasn't a lie. I think this is very important to recognize also. So he said $50 million of condoms were going to Gaza. Now, everyone assumed that it was talking about the Gaza, the Gaza that's currently at war, as opposed to the Gaza that's currently in Mozambique. But also, why the fuck are they sending $50 million of condoms anywhere? Why the fuck? Oh, to protect against HIV, bro. You think sending $50 million of condoms are gonna stop AIDS? Give me a break. Dude, this does not solve any problems. It's like, this is not the gotcha you think it is. All it proves is he was honest about it. He just made a mistake. He mixed up the Gazas. And yes, that's a fuck up. Absolutely. No doubt about it. It was misinformation. It was bad. It was cringe. Misinformation. But it literally doesn't help. It literally does not even remotely help the case that $50 million of taxpayer money went to Gaza. All right, we're all on the same page?
Quickly to correct any mistakes. I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere.
True! Exactly! P. Diddy don't need those $50 million of condoms.
Frankly, I'm not sure that's something Americans would be really excited about. And that is really an enormous number of condoms, if you think about it.
I mean, I didn't think about it, but yes, that is a pretty enormous number of condoms.
But if it went to Mozambique instead of Gaza, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, but still, why?
You're right. It didn't go to terrorists. It just went to waste. Let's go, guys!
How are we doing that?
Mr. Musk, can you talk a little bit about how closely you're working with agency heads as you're directing these cuts? Do they have how much input do agency heads have when you're making these decisions?
Yeah, we work closely with the agency heads, there are sort of checks in place. So it's not just us just going in and doing things willy-nilly.
I'm still shocked that they thought that was a gotcha. I'm sorry. I'm still... whoa. Can we hold back for a second? I am still floored that they thought that was a gotcha moment. Bro. Dog. They thought it was a gotcha moment to say that 50 million taxpayer dollars didn't go to that Gaza, it went to a different Gaza? They think that's a gotcha moment? Are they retarded? Bro, we're not even living in the same world. And they use this as like, turns out you are promoting misinformation. Are you fucking crazy? People in my chat are going wild with the whole, Jewlumni, Jewluminati, Jews secretly controlling the world. Guys, all the terrorists that are around Israel that say death to Israel, the next line on their creed is death to America. Yes, it is in America's best interest to wipe out those guys. That is a fact, actually, not a conspiracy. But yeah, condoms is one strategy. Prevent them from breeding. Prevent them from breeding. They'll have no more children. Condoms for everyone. Mandatory condoms. Bro, what the fuck, dog?
And it's in partnership with the agency heads, and I check frequently with the president to make sure that this is what the president wants to have happen. So we talk almost every day, and I double check things to make sure, is this something, Mr. President, you want us to do this? Then we'll do it.
USAID has been one of your main targets. Are you concerned at all that some of the cuts or that shutting that agency altogether may lead to diseases or other bigger problems starting in other countries that then come to the United States?
These people, they're wild. Do you understand what they're saying? Every question they ask is like brain death. Are you afraid that your money that's being spent in other countries isn't going to cause a disease that's going to spread to the United States? Dog.
Yeah, so that's an interesting example. So that's something where we work closely with the State Department and Secretary Rubio. And we have, for example, turned on funding for Ebola prevention and for HIV prevention.
So they actually didn't completely stop USAID.
Left that, you said?
Yes, correct. And we are moving fast, so we will make mistakes, but we'll also fix the mistakes very quickly. So,
do you see it as a worthy cause, USAID?
I think that there's some worthy things, but overall, if you say what was the bang for the buck, I would say it was not very good. And
dude, like obviously, and everyone's going crazy about like these 1-2 things. That's crazy, dude.
There was far too much of what USAID was doing was influencing elections.
Dude, there was so much evidence of election tampering in other actual democratic countries by USAID. What's the explanation for that?
In ways that I think were dubious and do not stand the light of day.
I can just ask a follow-up to the Pentagon contracts. If you have received billions of dollars in contracts from the Pentagon, and the president's directing you to look into the Department of Defense, is that
which we
a
definitely need
conflict
to
of
do
interest?
and are going to do at the president's request.
Does that present a conflict of interest for you?
No, because you have to look at the individual contract and say, first of all,
it's crazy that these are the questions they came up with. It's wild. The U.S. is still so radicalized to every side. Every time they ask a question to Elon Musk, he's disappointed. Like, this is disappointment on his face that he has to explain this shit.
I'm not the one, filing the contract. It's people at SpaceX or someone who will be putting for the contract. And I'd like to say, if you see any contract where where it was awarded to SpaceX and it wasn't by far the best value for money for the taxpayer, let me know, because every one of them was.
And he says it. Let him know. Give him evidence, bro.
The president said the other day that you might look at treasuries. Could you explain that a little bit? What kind of fraud, and that question goes to both of you, what kind of fraud are you expecting to see or do you see right now in U.S. treasuries?
Yeah, I think you mean the Treasury Department as opposed to Treasury bills, or...
You also referenced treasuries on Air Force One the other night.
Go ahead.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, really, the first order of business is to make sure we're actually collecting... Sorry for this. Although my son might enjoy this, but he's sticking his fingers in my ears and stuff. So it's a bit hard to hear sometimes. Hey, stop that.
Bro, dude has fingers in his ears that came directly from his son's nose, and he's still shutting down these questions. Bro!
The stuff we're doing with the Treasury Department is so basic.
Literally everything he's explaining is like elementary level toddler shit. X could answer these questions.
That you can't believe it doesn't exist already. So, for example, like I mentioned, just making sure that when a payment goes out, it has to have a payment categorization code. It's like, what type of payment is this?
I love how he's explaining this. Yes, when a payment goes out, they should explain what the payment is for. We're remaking the wheel here, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy.
You can't just leave the field blank. Currently, many payments, the field is left blank. And you have to describe what's the payment for, some basic rationalization. That also is not blank. So this is why the Pentagon, when's the last time the Pentagon passed an audit? I mean, a decade ago, maybe? I don't know, ever? Really? And we want to just, in order to actually pass audits, you have to have financial information that allows you to trace the payments. And once in a while, the Treasury has to pause payments if it thinks the payment is going to a fraudulent organization. If a company or an organization is on a do not pay list, we should not pay it. I'm sure you would agree. Like, if it's quite hard to get on that payment, the do not pay list, it means that this is someone that is like dead people, terrorists, known fraudsters.
Hey guys, this is crazy. All right, people on the left, close your ears. We should not be giving government money to terrorists and dead people. Thank you for outlining the list.
That kind of thing, we should not pay them. But currently we do, which is crazy.
Yes,
we should stop
it's
that.
crazy.
Many
And the journalists absolutely losing their mind. Why should we explain where the money goes? Really? Great question.
And by the way,
Do you want to get donated to Hassan Piker's Twitch stream?
hundreds, thousands of transactions like that. You know, we have a big team. And for the sake of the country, I hope that the person that's in charge and the other people that report to me that are in charge are allowed to do the right thing, namely make sure everything's honest, legitimate, and competent. But we're looking at just, when you look at USAID, that's one. We're gonna look at the military, we're gonna look at education. They're much bigger areas. But the USAID is really corrupt. I'll tell you, it's corrupt. It's incompetent and it's really corrupt. And I can't imagine a judge saying, well, it may be corrupt, but you don't have the right. You got elected to look over the country and to, as we say, make America great again, but you don't have the right to go and look and see whether or not things are right that they're paying or that.
I feel like Trump jumped in here because the reporters keep asking the same bullshit questions, trying to get Elon to say something that they could clip, and Elon's just like explaining it rationally. And Trump, I think, completely realizes their game at this point and is like, they're not here for a rational answer, okay? You guys are all hacks. You're jokers, okay? I was elected to make America great. You're trying to stop me from making America great. Fuck you. That's what he's saying, basically.
Things are honest that they're paying. And nobody can even believe this. Other people, law professors, they've been saying, how can you take that person's right away? You're supposed to be running the country, but we're not allowed to look at who they're paying it to and what they're paying. We have massive amounts of fraud that we caught. I think we probably caught way over a lot of billions of dollars already in, 2 weeks?
Yes.
And it's going to go to numbers that you're not going to believe. And
it's going to be huge.
Much, as I said, much is incompetence and much is dishonesty. We have to catch it. And the
$4 billion grants to make monkeys have same sex, not anymore.
only way we're going to catch it is to look for it. And if a judge is going to say you're not allowed to look for it, that's pretty sad for our country. I don't understand how it could even work.
The buyout program, can you personally guarantee that?
Which one?
The buyout program, the offer to federal workers. Can you personally guarantee that the workers who opt in to resign now will be paid through September?
Well, they'll get their money, but they're getting a good deal. They're getting a big buyout. And what we're trying to do is reduce government. We have too many people. We have office space. It's occupied by 4%. Nobody's showing up to work because they were told not to. And then Biden gave them a 5-year pass, some of them, 48,000 of them, gave them a 5-year pass, that for 5 years you don't have to show up to work. And let me tell you, this is largely, much of this stuff is because of Biden. It's his fault. He allowed this country, what he did on our border. What he did on our border is almost not as bad as what he did with all of these contracts that have come out. It's a very sad day when we look at it. I can't even believe it. But many contracts just extend and they just keep extending, and there was nobody there to correct it. And that cannot be, I can't imagine that could be held up by the court. Any court that would say that the president or his representatives, like Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of State, whatever, doesn't have the right to go over their books and make sure everything's honest. I mean, how can you have a country? You can't have anything that way. You can't have a business that...
It's the most obvious shit in the world. Tell the president you can't look at what, like, the billions of dollars in the country. You can't even look at what they're going to. Like, hello?
Well, you can't have a country that way. Hey, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, Trump shut them down immediately. He saw what they were going for. He saw they were just trying to ask Elon Musk a bunch of questions until he makes a Nazi salute. That is literally what their strategy was. So he takes the phone, he takes all these, like, any country, any judge that thinks that stopping me from looking at the books makes sense, get the fuck out. And thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Coming back tonight. Mark Vogel will be at the White House tonight at about 10 o'clock. If you want to come over, you can say hello to him.
Did the U.S. give anything in return?
Not much. No, they were very nice. We were treated very nicely by Russia, actually.
I'm trying to sneak in some Russia questions.
I hope that's the beginning of a relationship where we can end that war and millions of people can stop being killed.
Yeah, nothing suspicious about not wanting people to dig into your finances. Anyway, yeah, so that's been it's been DOGE updates. Honestly, huge dub, huge dub. Anyone against this? Retarded. They're retarded. They're crazy, cringe and retarded. Not based at all. Lame and gay, gay and lame. Fraudsters, scammers, pieces of shit, all of them. Go swim in the Gulf of America, motherfuckers. Make America make money again. All right, bye guys. Thank you for being here. That's been today's episode on crazy drama situation. Dude, I didn't realize that retards being retarded was this entertaining, but here we are. Bye, bye. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam.